Thank you for joining the Responsibility Channel. Here we help women to take responsibility for their happiness, their success, and their freedom. Please like, share, and subscribe. So today, what I want to talk to you about is, and there's a lot of talk about people who don't like when people educate or don't like when people say that it is okay to cut people off, right? And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. It is okay because here at the Responsibility Channel, we are responsible for our happiness. We are responsible for our success. We are responsible for our freedom. And when I developed this channel and this business, this is a coaching, it's a life coaching company and personal development business. And what it is, I help women to take responsibility for their own happiness. As I've stated in the beginning, their own success and their own freedom. And how I do that is I challenge and I teach women to look at themselves, right? And what I'm going to talk about today is what I'm in business for. I'm in business to help women take charge of their lives, to help them to be responsible. Because for some reason, and this business was birthed out of my own frustration, out of my own pain. And that's why I try to teach women too. Part of my coaching practice is your wealth is in your pain. So my wealth is in the hell that I've been through. That's why you're here on this channel watching me. Because all the hell that I went through, you're watching the fruit, the fruits of that pain, It was like no pain, no gain. You're watching the fruit of that pain. But what I teach women to do is I teach women and I coach women to be responsible for themselves. Because for some reason, I don't know where we get it from. I was like this. For some reason, we've been taught that what will make us happy is outside of us. We've been taught that. We've been taught another person should make us happy. We've been taught that our careers should make us happy. We've been taught that everything that's outside of us is supposed to make us happy. And that is not the case. That is not true. Your happiness comes from within. But how you determine what makes you happy all depends on you. It all depends on you because, see, a lot of us are not healed. A lot of us need to do work on our inner child. And that's what I'm here to coach you through. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a coach. I'm that motivational friend. I'm that person to help you to take that look at yourself. That's what I do. That's what I had to do. What I'm teaching you to do, I had to walk through that thing myself. That's what I had to do. I had to look at myself, right? So what I do is I teach women how to look at themselves, how to really go back and deal with that inner child, because most of our pain and most of the things that we struggle with come from that inner child, come from that broken woman, that broken little girl I met, that broken little girl that was, that felt abandoned, that was abused, that felt rejected, that felt neglected. We have to deal with her in order to be free. Right? We're not free because we're trying to deal with the young girl in a grown-up body. And that you can't do that. That's impossible. So what I do is I teach women how to be responsible for themselves. But what I want to come talk to you about is it is okay to cut people off. And let me tell you why. Especially now, it is okay. We have to be okay with cutting people out of our lives. I don't care who it is. Because most of our pain and most of our frustration and most of our abuse comes from other people. And it's not the other person's fault. It's not their fault. You know whose fault it is? It's your fault. It was my fault because I didn't deal with the little girl within. When you don't deal with the little girl within, it is hard for you to deal with the grown woman. Right? It is hard for you to deal with the grown woman because that little girl is crying out for help. So I help women, right, to deal with that little girl. I help women to face themselves. I help women to look at themselves and pull on the happiness and the freedom and the success from within. But you can't do that until you've dealt with the little girl inside. until you dealt with the abandonment issues, until you dealt with the rejection issues, right? Until you've taken care of that people-pleasing spirit. You want to please people because that little girl in you, right, thought that she can do everything in her power to make her mom happy, her dad happy, or whomever it is, her caretaker, whoever it is that took care of her. She was screaming out for help, right? And no one really gave her that validation and affirmation she needed. But that's okay, because, you know, this is why this channel is here. We don't blame the people who were supposed to give us the love and the attention and the nurturing we needed. We can't go recoup that. That is in our past. We're adults now. So what we have to do is we have to deal with the issues at hand, right? We have to deal with what we can deal with now. We can no longer blame our moms. We can no longer blame our dads. Whoever did whatever to us, we can no longer blame them, right? We can no longer blame them. I know, I've been there. We blame everybody for everything we've gone through. We are still blaming people for things we've experienced, when all we had to do was heal the little girl within us. Because if we healed the little girl within, the woman who you are now could stand. She could stand up for herself. But she can't do that because she's still battling the little girl, the little rejected girl inside of her. Right? And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you deal with the little girl within. You're talking to somebody who's been there, done that. And that's why I can speak so boldly and proudly, because I know what it takes. I've been there. I dealt with it. But this is the reason that you have to start cutting people off. This is the reason, right? The reason is this is not the time to be playing around with your mental health. This is not the time. There is too much going on in the world to be dealing with people who do not respect you, to be dealing with people who do not value you. You no longer have the time to be explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand you. You've explained yourself 1,000 times. You've expressed yourself 1,000 times. You've told people 1,000 times what does not make you feel good. You don't like when they do certain things. You've explained, you've talked to them, you've given them chance after chance after chance after chance. There are no more chances. It is time for you to heal that wounded child within so you can thrive. It's time to deal with that. It's time to put your foot down. It's time to learn how to be responsible, right? This is the responsibility channel. It's time for you to be responsible for your own happiness. What makes you happy? Do you even know what makes you happy? No, because you're too busy trying to please everyone else. You don't know what makes you happy. I'll tell you that. I answer that for you. You don't know what makes you happy. What makes you happy is you doing everything for everyone else that makes them happy. That is not your happiness. That's someone else's happiness. It's time for you to look at you. It's time for you to deal with you, regardless of how it looks like, what it looks like, regardless of who is going to get mad. It is time for you to focus on you. It is time for you to deal with you. You never dealt with you. What you've done was you went and you've gotten another body. You found someone else, to help you cope, to help you deal with not dealing with you. That's what you've done. You've gotten a warm body, right? You went and found a person, whether that's a friend, you had another child, you got married, something. You found something to fill that space to keep you from dealing with you. But I'm here to talk to you. It's time to deal with you. It is time to deal with you. That's why you're not happy. That is why you're not successful. That is why you're not free. You haven't dealt with you. You haven't dealt with you. I think it's ironic when This business, this coaching, personal development, and life coaching company was given to me, by God. I didn't understand at the time. It was years ago. I didn't understand. The name sounded crazy to me. Everything just didn't fit in my head back then. But oh boy, it all fits together now. It all is coming together. Everything's just falling into place. Now I understand. I didn't understand then. I'm like, Lord, responsibility. Like, what is this responsibility? That's the word I got in my spirit. Now I understand. Now I understand. I have to take people through the process that I went through for myself to deal with myself. I had to deal with the little wounded child within. I had to deal with the broken girl within. I was a people pleaser. I allowed people to do and say anything to me because I was afraid of conflict. I was afraid of making people mad. I was afraid of making, people upset. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to be in good graces with people. I didn't want people upset with me, right? Because of the little girl within. I haven't dealt with her. But oh boy, when God gave me the strength and when he showed me myself and I had to deal with me, it was over. It was over. I had to deal with me. And so I'm going to be taking women through the same process, right? That I had to go through to deal with me. And it's work. See, people want things. You want to be free. You want to be successful. God has given you visions and dreams. You want those things that God have shown you. You want them. But you just don't want to do the work because the work is going to be hard. You're going to have to let go of people. You're going to have to be by yourself. And for some reason, people don't want to be by themselves. We don't want to be by ourselves. But you're not going to be by yourself forever, always. That's just a period. That's just a journey, right? That's just a season where you're going to have to be by yourself. No, it's not going to feel good. I'm not here to sound good. I'm not here to try to manipulate and coerce you into, trying to buy what I have to offer. That's not my job. My job is to speak the truth and the truth only, because that's all I know. That's what my grandmother taught me. My job is to speak the truth. The truth will make you free. Some people say the truth will set you free. No, you're not being set in nothing. The truth will make you free. So I'm here to speak the truth to you. It's hard work. It's hard work. You're going to snot. You're going to cry. You're going to have withdrawals like you were on a drug or something. It is hard. The work is very hard. But it gets easier once you take that first step. You take the second step, it gets easier. You take the third step, you take the fourth step. Once you start getting down the line through the process, your mind is going to open up to so many things that otherwise you wouldn't have seen because you never started the process. Oh, I know. I was afraid. I was afraid of the process. You know why? Because I saw everything before it happened. I saw the people turning their backs on me. I saw people getting jealous and mad because I started doing the work on myself. I was no longer the same. I saw those people getting upset with me. I saw people walking out of my life. I saw myself losing so-called friends that I was friends with. Because, people love for you to stay broke, busted, and disgusted, and you can't be trusted. People love that. But when you start to elevate, you start to heal, you start to stand up for yourself, people don't know what to do with you because they're so used to you being broke, busted, disgusted, and you can't be trusted. But when you start healing, when you start building your character, when you start smiling and glowing and standing up for yourself, you become a problem to people because you're no longer in their box. You no longer fit their narrative. You no longer fit the idea that they have of you. You no longer fit the person that they met. You're changing on them. So they don't know what to do with you. They don't understand the change. And it's not for them to understand. That's what I want to help you. I want to help you get through being okay with people not understanding you. You've been misunderstood all your life anyways. So why you want people to understand you? You've been misunderstood. It's not your job to manage other people's understanding. It's not your job. And once you get delivered from people, that is when you're going to start seeing the progress. You're going to start being healed. You're going to start seeing the value in personal development. You're going to start seeing the value in it. And it takes work. Oh my goodness. It takes work. If you're not ready to work, my coaching business is not for you. My personal development and life coaching company is not for you because we work over here. It is work. You're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to say some affirmations. You're going to have to read scriptures. You're going to have to renounce, repent. You're going to have to do a lot of things. This is part of the process I had to go through. I had to go through this process. So I can't teach you something I haven't gone through. Oh, I had to walk this thing out 10 toes down. I didn't want to. I cried. I snotted. I did it all. It is hard work. In the beginning, it's so hard, but the reward, can I tell you? Can I tell you? The happiness, the success, and the freedom that you have, all of that comes from within. When you're free in your mind, that's a freedom no one can take from you. You could be going through pure hell. It can be chaos all around you. But when you're free up here, that's a different level of peace that surpasses all understanding. Because you know who you are. You know your strength. So what people say about you does not define you anymore. Because you dealt with that insecure little girl in you. You dealt with that broken little girl. So what people say about you, when they lie on you, it doesn't faze you. Because you have dealt with yourself. You have dealt with your inner child. You've dealt with it. You're no longer controlled by your emotions. People are provoking and saying things to you. People pushing your buttons, your triggers. It's a powerful place to be in. When you can look at a person and they want you to look down to the ground. They want you to look off. And it's not that you're trying to intimidate them or anything, but people are so used to you being passive. They're so used to you being broken. They don't know what to do with you. When you're strong. They don't know what to do with you. They don't know what to do with you. When you have gained the confidence and the boldness in Christ that no man can take from you. That boldness no man can take, but you have to do the work. Do you think that if you've been through years of abuse, you've been through 5 years, 10 years of abuse, you think you're going to transform overnight? You think your transformation is going to happen overnight? No, it takes time. It takes time to transform. It takes time to unlearn, to unprogram your mind. Your mind has been programmed. So you have to do things to deprogram what's been programmed in your mind. It takes time to remove things that has been hardwired in your mind. It takes time to do that. That's why affirmations are so important. That's why journaling is so important, right? That's why reading scriptures, all of that is so important. It's important. People want something for nothing. You can't get deliverance and healing if you're not willing to do the work. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you do the work. I know the transformation that's going to take place because I saw it in myself first. I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person. I don't even look like the same person. I don't look like the same person. I'm different. I've changed because there was a process I had to go through. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's going to be a lonely road at times. But if you get too lonely, Just ask God to send you someone along the way. Send you people to help you along the way. Right? But it's time to cut people off who does not value you, who does not appreciate you, who does not who does not care for you, who does not value. I've said that. I don't know any other terms. It is okay. Because you see, the world we live in right now, people are getting more evil and more wicked by the day. And if you have people around you who are jealous of you, who don't like you, who lie on you, who cheat on you, who do things to you that don't make you feel good, that can lead to a disaster. That can lead to a dangerous outcome. It is okay. It is okay to not be around those people. We're so used to being in dysfunctional relationships and dysfunctional friendships that we don't know what functional and normal is. Because most of all of us knew is dysfunction. And when you try to do something outside of the system that was set up for you in your life and your family, people look at you strange. Like, why is she trying to get outside of the matrix? She's trying to get outside the matrix because you're not part of the matrix. You've never been part of it. You've always been different. You are different. God is calling you to do something different. And you know it. You know it. You listening to this video, shaking your head. Yes, girl. Yes, you're right. You're just going along with me because you know I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. You can feel it. Just as someone came along to help me. And I was sitting there on the other side of the camera. I was agreeing. I was like, she is so right. Like, who is this lady? Let me find out who she is. Let me follow her and see if she's someone I need to be connected with. See if she's someone I need to work with. I've done the same thing with people who helped me along my journey. Yes, I've made mistakes along my journey. Yeah, I've connected with certain people that I shouldn't have connected with, but I've learned something from that. And this is what you have to do. Whenever you make mistakes, whenever you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Look at what you can learn from that. You always can learn something from something, right? Look at what you can learn from that and try not to repeat that same mistake again. That's what I do. So if you would like to work with me, right? Email me at responseherbility. It's the name in the YouTube, the name of the YouTube channel, responseherbility@gmail.com. Email me if you would like to work with me, right? If you would like to work with me, if you want to, hop on a call and just chat for a few minutes, email me. And I would be glad to assist you along your journey. Because it's time for you to be happy. It's time for you to be successful. And it's time for you to be free.